And we're live. We are live. Wow, the day is finally here. Welcome to Happily Ever After. Deception, delusion, or is it simply just a matter of discernment? It's going to be an easy class. I'm going to take my time, and I'm sure that it's going to be impactful as it will be insightful. I always say that marriage matters, and so we must make our marriages matter. And today we're talking about happily ever after. We've all heard the stories. So I'm going to give people a little time to come in, and then I'll just start. So I just want to welcome everybody to Happily Ever After. I keep saying that deception, delusion, or simply a matter of discernment. I want to welcome you all and to thank you so much for joining my masterclass. I'd love you to type in your names, let me know where you're joining from, and just possibly put in why you joined this masterclass. If you could just do that before we start, your name, where you're signing in from, and why you joined this masterclass. Am I seeing the comments? Hello, hello. Hey, Jojo. Hey, Josephine. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Amarachi, Spicy, Chi. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Could you just type in where you're joining from? Mary A, thank you. Chris, thank you so much for joining. Hello. Please type in where you're signing in from and why did you join this masterclass, Happily Ever After, deception, delusion, or simply just a matter of discernment. As we wait for more people to join, please let me know. Why are you interested in Happily Ever After? I know we've all heard the stories, and they lived happily ever after. Why have you joined this masterclass? Thank you for joining, but I'd love to know why you've joined, where you joining from, and why have you joined this masterclass? Who else is in? I'm waiting to hear from you. Can everybody hear me? Why have you joined this masterclass? Hello, hello, hello. Oh, hi, you're joining from Lagos. You're most welcome, Spicy Spicy. And what do you hope to gain from this masterclass? Marriages matter. We must make our marriages matter. And we must do everything in our power to ensure that we have what is needed, the information needed to make sure that our marriages work. Because so much is riding on whether marriage relationships can thrive and be successful. Hello, as people join, I want you to tell me where you're joining from and exactly why you've joined this masterclass, Happily Ever After. We're going to really be digging deep into 5 myths that sabotage marriages, the things that cause marriages to fail. And what are the tips that can ensure that our marriages operate, survive, thrive, and operate optimally, increasing our chances of having successful and satisfying lives with our spouses and generally. You're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. Hey, Mary. I'm just checking to see where people are joining in from. Spicy says she's joining in from Lagos. Do let me know where you're signing in from. Thank you very much. Okay, so we have a lot more people. Anita. Hello, Anita. Hello, Tochukwu. You're signing in from Lagos. Hello, Jumoke. Welcome. Josephine. Oh, Bedford, UK. Lagos, Nigeria. Lagos, Nigeria. Bimbo, Lagos. Lagos is winning the day. Lagos is winning the day. Last Giddy, yes. Oh, Victoria, thank you so much for joining. You're from Lagos. Josephine is signing in from Lekki. First, okay. Tochukwu has finally said to us why he has joined the Happily Ever After. And he says he wants to achieve Happily Ever After. And that's what we all want. All of us really want to achieve that Happily Ever After. Good evening, Mary. Mary is signing in from Essex, UK. Uzoma is signing in. Oh, Ada is signing in from Lagos. Thank you so much, Anita. Anita says she joined to know exactly what it takes to live happily ever after. And I dare say that is all of us. We all want to know, how do we achieve happily ever after? Thank you, Adeze. She's joining from the UK. Thank you, Tioyowale. Hello, how are you? And Toria, I love the way you shortened your name. Hey, Toria, you're signing in from Enugu in Nigeria. And you say you've joined because you believe that it's going to teach you a lot about how to make your home, to enable you keep your home. And Spicy says, thank you, Max. I joined just to gain insight and more knowledge about marriage. Shobawale Victoria says, I want to know the better way to handle my marriage. I want a hitch-free marriage and a home filled with love and with peace. Excuse me. Abimbola says, knowledge is power. Absolutely. Knowledge is power. And she wants to help herself, and also to support others. And I think that's very laudable, because one of the things I believe is that every one of us, especially those who are married, have a responsibility to mentor others through our experiences, what we've gone through, our challenges and our successes. Margaret is joining from Uyo. Adeza wants to gain clarity on marriage dynamics. Wants to gain clarity on marriage dynamics. And Josephine wants to know and have the necessary equipment needed to live happily ever after. Don't we all? Chinyere wants to ensure that she has a successful marriage. And Mary says she's joining from Ibadan and is hoping to learn what it takes to have a successful marriage. Ada says, I want to know more about how to handle my marriage and the things that she needs to know for a successful marriage. Amarachi is joining from Lagos. Stephen is joining from Lagos. Interesting name, Diddy from Lagos. McDonald is joining from Bonny, River State. I've actually been to Bonny Island and I had to cross water to get there. Omone says, we are live, and indeed we are. Mary says, how do we achieve happily ever after? Is it even possible? And Omone says that she is joining and saying hello to us from Lagos, Nigeria. And those are some of the comments we have. And what cuts across all these comments is that people want to know, what does it take to have a happy marriage? Chinaza is joining from Anambra, and she wants to know what is required for a successful marriage. Katina is joining in from Lagos, and Katina, we're asking the question, you've answered that you're joining from Lagos, but we're asking the question, why have you joined this masterclass? What do you hope to gain? What do you want to learn from joining this masterclass? So people have posted multiple comments, and everybody seems to want to know, and myself included, hands up, what does it take to make a success of our marriage? And indeed, I dare say that it is imperative that we make a success of our marriages, because a success in marriage impacts everything else that happens to us. Kira says she's so excited to be here, and I am so excited to be here too. Happily ever after. Thank you so much for your comments. Thank you so much for joining. I'm sure loads of other people are coming on to join us shortly. And maybe in the next 2-3 minutes, I'm going to start. Oh, Onyi says she wants to have a successful marriage. And all of us have seen that a thread that runs through this entire thing is that people, men and women, genuinely want to know, what can I do to really have my happily ever after? Was marriage indeed intended to be a happily ever after? And the truth of the matter is that whether you're not married yet or you're already married, this knowledge is relevant, because before you get married, you have a unique opportunity to get your marriage right. And when you're married, at any point that you press the reset button, you can start again. My mom used to say when she was alive, in my language, that's whenever you wake up is really your morning. So people tend to relegate discussions about marriage and discussions about how to make it better. Some tend to relegate it to when you're in the marriage. Others tend to think it should be before marriage. I think both count. Whether you're not yet in a marriage, it's good because you now have the tools that you need to make sure that you pick the right partner and that you thrive in marriage. And if you're already married, you have the chance to press the reset button if things have gone in a wrong direction. And even if things are good, you have the opportunity to revisit the things that you've been doing and enhance them and make your marriage better. Welcome, Abiola. Thank you very much for joining. Abiola is joining from Lagos, and she says that a successful marriage requires spouses being intentional about making the marriage work. And that is absolutely true, Abiola. And I know you've written a book about this, that truly a successful marriage requires spouses being intentional. And I guess that's why we're all here, because we want to gain knowledge as to how to be intentional and how to make our marriages work so we can truly have a happily ever after. So we're waiting for a couple more people to join, tell us where they're joining from, and more importantly, what they want to learn from this masterclass. Show me some love in the comment section. Show me some love. Tell me you're happy to be here. Tell me you're excited to be here, because I am excited. I know it's going to be impactful. I know it's going to be exciting. And very soon we're going to start the masterclass, Happily Ever After. Deception, delusion, or simply discernment. Spicy, spicy, loving you right back. Loving you right back. Abiola, loving you right back. Funke, loving you right back. Mary Samuel, you're joining from Abuja. You're most welcome. Can you type in the comments, what do you want to gain from Happily Ever After? What is the reason why you've joined this masterclass? Oh, wow. T is looking forward to hearing, I guess, about a good marriage. Victoria is sending me love right back at you. And with this, I think we're going to dive right into happily ever after. Deception, delusion, or discernment. 5 myths that sabotage marriages and the tips that you need to build a life-proof marriage. And though I've been repeating this, I want to say once again, welcome to Happily Ever After. And I'm about to make a very bold claim. This masterclass and what it will segue off into will make your marriage last a lifetime and not just a moment in time. I want to run quickly through who is this masterclass for. This masterclass is for those who are in developing or new relationships. It's for those contemplating marriage. It's for people who are getting over a failed marriage and they're seeking to make sense of it. People who are getting over a failed marriage or a divorce and, they want to make sense of it. It's for couples who are in long-term relationships and are experiencing challenges or, stagnation. Those who want to enhance their marriages, parents of young teenagers or young adults. And it's also for relationship therapists and counselors. And I want to ask you a question and tell me yes in the comments if this is a fact. Do you want to have a blissful marriage? And we know from what people have said, it would seem so. But to each of these questions, type me in a yes, because I want to run through this quickly and get us to the myths that sabotage marriage. Do you want a blissful marriage? Do you want the ability to navigate, successfully navigate challenges in marriage? Do you want the knowledge to be able to resolve conflict? Do you want solid trust and intimacy in your marriage? Do you want a satiating and satisfying physical intimacy in your marriage? Do you want the knowledge needed to raise children who are positioned to go on and replicate the good example that you have shown them in your marriage? And do you want longevity? Do you want to live to a ripe old age? And everybody, most people have said yes. And I believe everybody would say yes to that question. I say a resounding yes with both my hands up. And let me let you in on a secret. Marriage only works if you work it. Only if you work it. Marriage only works if you work it. So right now, are you where you want to be? Because you've answered yes to all these questions about being in a relationship, recovering from love lost, contemplating marriage, a parent of young teenagers, or adults, a relationship coach or therapist. Because you've answered yes to all these, then I want to absolutely assure you that you're in the right place right now. Tell me you are in the right place right now. And because you're still here, I want to tell you what we're going to be covering in this class. Yes, marriage only works if you work it. In this masterclass, we're going to be covering what is a myth. Remember, we're talking about the 5 myths that sabotage marriage. What is a myth? Why are myths damaging? How do people internalize damaging myths? How do they get them inside them? What are these myths that surround marriage? And what are the tips to build a life-proof marriage? If you succeed in overcoming these myths, there are a couple of things that will happen to you. You'll have a blissful marriage. You'll be positioned to have a blissful marriage. You will have a seamless integration between your work and your personal life. You'll be able to navigate conflict. Your communication skills will be improved, and you'll have transgenerational impact because your children and those in your sphere of influence will be affected and impacted positively. Now, I want to set a bit of a disclaimer. Number one, 2 disclaimers actually. This works. I'm telling you, it really does. The things I'm going to say, if you can overcome them, if you can embrace what I will reveal to you later, it works. It really does. But it only works if you embrace it completely, if you work it completely. In fact, I will add another disclaimer. It will not work if you don't take seriously what I like to call my marriagatical equation. Your desire for your marriage to work is directly proportionate to the amount of effort and intentionality that you're willing to put into it. And if somebody can type in this equation, DFMTW is directly proportionate to E1. Your desire for your marriage to work is directly proportionate to the amount of effort and intentionality that you're willing to put into it. So quickly, some housekeeping rules. Get off social media for the next 1.5 hours. We're not going to be longer than that. Narrow in your focus. Every single bit of information that I'm going to give you matters. It's not one, it's one and all, not one and not all. You can take notes. I don't mind because I'm going to run through quite quickly. You can take notes, you can, but if you stay till the end, I will personally send you a replay of the class. Everyone else is going to have to pay. Thank you, Michael, for typing in that equation. Your desire for your marriage to work is directly proportionate to the amount of effort and intentionality that you're willing to put in. So I want to ask you a question. Which would you rather have? Marital chaos on the one hand, constant conflict, toxic interactions, impacting well-being, work, advancement, children, and legacy, or marital bliss, a strong marriage, healthily navigating conflict with strong emotional support and emotional intimacy? You choose. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Why did I create this masterclass and the amazing life-changing product that I'm going to reveal at the end? Well, I got married at about 28. I believe I was. I met my husband. He pursued me relentlessly. I hope he's on this call right now. He pursued me relentlessly. Very strong man, very, very focused, very work-oriented, loved me and loves me completely. But we never really talked about the things that make a marriage work. My husband, I'm quite a dominant person, but my husband was even more dominant. And I kind of wanted that. I kind of wanted somebody that was quite dominant. That in itself is something to think about. And my husband was, and still remains a very dominant person. But we never had these discussions, never had the discussions about money, never had the discussions about finance, never had the discussions about sex. In fact, to a degree, I just left most things to my husband because he was quite a strong character. And the things that I could have done to support him, the things that I could have done to help him make certain decisions, to do certain things, I kind of took a back seat and didn't. That in itself is a discussion all, of itself. And at some point, our marriage hit a significant challenge. And some of the things that we did not discuss prior to this challenge, we found ourselves having to discuss after this challenge. It was a challenging time. I've been married for 32 years, and it was a very challenging time. I'm still married today, happily married at that. My husband and I are still very much together. But the challenge that we had made us have discussions which ordinarily we wouldn't have had, and that maybe if we had certain challenges wouldn't have arisen. And this is what drives me with regard to marriage. I came to realize that you need to have done work on yourself prior to marriage, prior to meeting somebody. You need to do work on yourself in marriage. And even as you're inside the marriage, there are certain discussions that must be continuing and ongoing as both of you evolve and grow and mature and life happens. For me, this is a vocation. I truly believe that marriage matters, and my marriage matters to me. And I believe people's marriages should matter to them because it affects everything else that we do. So who am I? Well, my name is Amaka Chika-Mbonu, as many of you may know. I'm a certified counselor with a specialization in couples counseling. I'm a cognitive behavioral therapist certified. I have over 25 years of experience in premarital and marriage counseling in a Christian church setting. I'm the founder of Amaka's Book Club, a book that reads solely books that have to do with the male-female romantic relationship dynamic. I'm the founder of ACM Academy, which has a retinue of courses and masterclasses, of which this is one, that have to do with marriage and relationships. I'm the author of 7 books that deal with the male-female romantic relationship dynamic, with an 8th and a 9th in the works. I'm a founding member of the Association of Christian Family Life Coaches. I'm a SIM-based facilitator, saving your marriage before it starts. I'm sure some of you have heard about Les Parrott and his wife. And then I've spoken on multiple diverse speaking platforms, locally and internationally. and I've featured on radio and television programs across the globe. I've just shown a picture of a couple of my books, and I hope you guys will be interested and invest in them. How to Get Your Wife to Swing from the Chandelier in a Red Negligee, 49 Ways to Get Rid of the Other Woman Without Getting Caught, Where Did You Put Your Organ? And yes, it is that organ. Chronicles of Joy Through Pain, 12 and 2 more, and boom, Bob's your uncle and For Real Fanny's your aunt, and a limited edition coffee table book, Before, When, and After. And I featured in various places. I couldn't put all of them here. I've had the privilege of featuring in many of these places, all of these places you've seen here, and many more. And a couple of things changed for me when I embraced the truths about marriage. I was living in a fantasy, but a couple of things happened to me when I, really accepted the truths about marriage. Despite the inevitable challenges that marriages face and that my marriage faced, my marriage has triumphed. I've built a thriving marriage consultancy. I've written 7 books with an 8th and a 9th in the works. I've counseled approximately 180 couples pre and post marriage. I've become a sought after voice in the marriage and relationship space. I've spoken on multiple diverse platforms. I've recently forayed into the area of talk shows. The Amaka Chika-Mbonu show is launching imminently. And I currently have in development a feature film and a mini series about romantic relationships. And you can have these same results in your marriage and even more if you desire and have the calling, as somebody said, they want to speak into others' marriages. You can have exactly these same results. Now, it's very important to note, and this is all a preamble, we're about to get into the main thing. It's very important that what I'm about to talk about in this masterclass and the product that I will reveal after, it's not for babies, it's not for sissies, it's not for quitters, and it's not for those who don't have staying power. Marriage is a marathon, it's not a sprint, and it's not for the faint of heart. It requires, as Abiola said here, it requires intentionality, it requires you to be deliberate, it requires you to be able to learn, unlearn, and relearn, which is what all of you are doing here. So I'm clapping for you. So again, what are we going to learn? What is a myth? Why are myths damaging? How do people even internalize myths in the first place? What are the 5 myths? And how do I overcome these myths? So what might stop you from engaging in this masterclass? 4 things might stop you from engaging in this masterclass and from embracing wholeheartedly the product that I will reveal after this masterclass. Number 1, you don't understand the significant impact that the wrong choice of a life partner can have on your life in general. There's some things at the side, and I'll probably send them on our dedicated WhatsApp group to tell you the implications of not realizing that your wrong choice of marriage partner is an issue. The breakdown of this at the side, I will send to our dedicated WhatsApp group for registered participants. Number 2, you dismiss the importance of premarital classes. And when I say premarital, I use that term lightly because in marriage, some things you did not discuss or did not have the opportunity of listening to in a premarital class are very relevant even within a marriage. Number 3, you're already married, but there might be challenges, but you reckon, can counseling really help? And number 4, you think, we're good. My marriage is perfect. There are no challenges. I don't need counseling. These are the 4 things that could prevent you from engaging in what I'm saying properly and from embracing the product that I will reveal at the end of this. And you see that these 4 things are not things. As I've said, the explanation of these I will put in our dedicated WhatsApp group because I truly intend, I always speak briefly, I truly intend to keep to time. So, is happily ever after a story that hasn't ended yet? Have Nollywood, Hollywood, Bollywood, social media, and countless romantic novels sold us a lie? I remember when I was in secondary school, I had a friend, she might be on this platform, who loved Mills and Boone. Only those in my generation. Is there anyone here who remembers those romantic novels, Mills and Boone, where an Arab sheikh with loads of money would come and sweep a woman off her feet and carry her off into the sunset? I don't know whether it's only young people here, but those from my generation will remember those books. And I had a friend who was really into them. I love them too. But have we been sold a lie? Have we been sold a lie? You know, is happily ever after a deception? Is it a delusion? Or does it just require some discernment? Okay, I can see there are loads of old people here remembering oldies like us who remember, I'm 60, who remember Mills and Boone and those, you know, the strong, dark gentleman who comes and sweeps you off your feet. So let's look at the myths and a couple of other things. What is a myth? A myth is a widely held belief, but false belief, a widely held but false belief, a misconception or an idea. That's what a myth is. And myths are damaging because they state as truth something that is actually not truth. They state as fact something that is actually not fact. And this is very damaging because myths, they impede critical thinking, so you don't make rational choices. Myths, they perpetuate harmful stereotypes. So people say something is a particular way or they generalize about things. And most times it's frankly not true. Myths undermine trust and they negate research. For instance, when people say 50% of marriages have the potential to end in divorce, they negate statistics, negate reliable experts and institutions. And belief in myths it distorts one's perception. So if there's a myth that you believe, it can make you have a warped view of that particular situation and even a warped view of self. And when you internalize myths, it makes you not grow. You don't look into how you can be better. It removes responsibility from you. So, for instance, in marriage, if you believe a particular myth, it releases you from the responsibility of seeking out knowledge in that particular area and, you know, making it work for you. You understand? So, for instance, if you believe the myth that no marriage is ever happy, it's always turbulent, then you might not put in the effort to see if you can make your marriage work. So how do people even internalize myths? One of the ways that we get myths is that we're exposed to them by family, by peers, by institutions, and it sticks. It takes root subconsciously. For instance, some people say all men cheat. There is no faithful man. And I'm not saying that there are not many unfaithful men, but it's a generalization that is not necessarily based on fact, should we say. Has anybody done the statistics and looked at are men faithful, are they not? Or the myth that only men cheat, for instance, women don't. That's a generalization that can affect the way you respond to marriage, you know, or the way you respond to a person before marriage and the way you respond to a person even within marriage. People internalize myths because they rely on information that comes from trusted sources like their parents, religious leaders, mentors, established institutions. Another reason why people take in myths, and we're getting to these myths, is because human beings are social creatures. If the group you move in believes a particular thing, you're likely to want to believe that too, because you want to belong to that particular group. So you don't interrogate their beliefs, because human beings like to move together. They like to, you know, camaraderie and social interactions and to be accepted by their peers. And then myths also stick when there is a lack of information or people don't actively seek out information. And the people here are not of that ilk because all of you are here to seek information and to get more knowledge and to debunk the 5 myths that sabotage marriage. So I want you to picture this. And I actually wrote this down because, especially for the women here, it can relate to them. And no offense to the men, if you men can relate to this, tell me. But I'm actually going to read this out. It's from something I wrote. I want you to picture this. You know, a beautiful woman, perfect figure. She's wearing a silky satin negligee. She walks seductively towards the man, and his chest muscles are taut and rippling. And then he devours the woman, you know, looking at her every curve. Then he grabs her in a manly yet tender embrace, and his strong masculine frame covers her. He caresses her neck. Then they stare lovingly into each other's eyes, and their mouths move closer and closer and closer, and then they kiss. Then he grabs her in his arms, scoops her up into his arms fluidly, carries her into the bedroom where the bed is perfectly made, satin sheets, it smells lovely. And he says, I want you, you know. And then for the women, I don't know about the men, any men here, let me know. We breathe and think to ourselves, is this real? What's really happening in my relationship? But the truth is, this isn't reality. These are two people who barely know each other, possibly don't even know each other, and they're acting out a role. They're acting out a fantasy, a moment in time, not a lifetime. This fantasy doesn't take into consideration that the woman might have had children, so she's no longer has a perfect figure, whatever perfect figure means. She's no longer a size 8, but she's just as beautiful. The man might not be tall, dark, and handsome. He might be short, pudgy, but kind. His voice might not be a baritone like Barry White. I don't know who remembers Barry White. I'm talking like an older person, but you get the picture. The truth is that we've been sold the elixir of happily ever after. But happily ever after is a story that has not ended yet. Nothing in life remains at a fixed point. Nothing in life remains static, perpetually in despair or perpetually in blissful, ecstatic happiness. Life is fluid. Life is ever changing. Life is evolving and dynamic, just like we human beings are. So against this backdrop, I want us to look at what are the 5 myths that sabotage marriage? What are these 5 myths? And number 1 is the myth that love is enough and it is all you need for your marriage to be a success. Now, this myth suggests that if 2 people love each other, that their relationship will actually thrive. It kind of posits that deep affection, strong emotional connection, and romantic feelings are the primary need for any marriage to last. There's an underlying assumption that love will conquer all challenges, it will smooth over all differences, and it will instinctively guide a couple through life's inevitable challenges without the conscious effort to acquire the specific skills needed. And this belief often stems from this story that I just told you about the movies. It's like you meet something and like a bolt out of the blue, this person is the one and you don't have to do anything else to sustain it. It's just there. Has anybody ever heard this, that love is all you need? Let me know in the comments. Have you ever heard the myth that love conquers all? Everything just works if you love. But you see, love at first sight and love being enough, the reality is that it is not enough. This is fiction. It's not fact. And for those of you who are single at this point, whether you've met someone or not, I tell you categorically, it is not a fact. And for those of us who have been married for any length of time, we would have come to the realization that it is fantasy, it is not fact. You might see what you like on the surface for those who are single, but you need to see a lot more to love before you can claim that it's love. Now, while love is undeniably the cornerstone and the fuel that, powers any relationship, is far from the only thing needed. Marriage is dynamic, it's complex, it's ever evolving. It's a partnership that changes and ebbs and flows. Relying solely on love without cultivating other aspects is not love, and it will not sustain your marriage. Myth number 1 is debunked. It's not all you need. You need effective communication, the ability to express your thoughts, your needs, your wants, desires properly, concisely, and clearly with clarity to another person, and not assume that they just know. You need conflict resolution skills. No matter how you love, no matter how hot you look in a red bikini, no matter how tall and dark and handsome he is with all abs like, I don't know, Usher or whatever, it's not going to sustain your marriage if you can't communicate, if you don't have conflict resolution skills, the ability to navigate inevitable conflict in a productive way. If you don't have shared values and goals, love will not be all you need. No matter how you feel about this person, if you don't have some shared values, if you haven't made the effort to make your values align, you're not going to love, is not going to work. You know, love ebbs and it flows. It needs respect and trust, you know. It needs individual growth and self-awareness. You're one, but you're also two. Each person contributing to the health of the relationship. Their practical skills, the ability to handle money, the ability to speak properly, the ability to empathize, put yourself in another's shoes, the ability to have compassion. All these things will speak into love. So love, the butterflies in the stomach kind of love we all think about when we think about love, is not enough. Without these complementary elements, love will become strained, love will become squashed under the weight of these unresolved things. And while love is essential, the butterflies in the stomach kind of love, because the jury is out on what this term love really means. In fact, everybody should put in the comment excuse me, section what they think love is. It's not confined, I assure you, to the butterflies in the stomach feeling. It's a complex partnership. It requires intentionality. It requires proactive planning across all of life's domains. True love that has the ability to stand must encompass all these things. What are some myths, some tips to overcome this myth? Shift from the love story. Recognize that marriage is a long-term product. Invest in relationship skills like you're doing here now. Communication, conflict resolution like you are doing now. Prioritize connection. You have to connect. You have to be together. Marriage is a partnership. It's about camaraderie. It's about being able to be with somebody in many different ways. Address issues proactively. Don't allow things to fester. Whatever is buried never comes up in the same form in which it was buried. You know, you have to courageously bring up things. And when it passes you, seek external support. And external support, family, is not always the best. It's better when you have therapists. I'm glad we're embracing that in our country now. Yes, it's better when you engage the services of a third party who is neutral. Myth number 2, you will love your spouse and feel in love with your spouse every hour of every day of every second. And this myth seems to perpetuate the fact that those butterfly in the stomach kind of euphoric, feelings like a drug are what can sustain a marriage. Those feelings in the initial stage of marriage, in fact, it's called limerence or the honeymoon phase, where the other person is like a drug that you can't get enough of. This is not sustainable throughout the entirety of the marriage. Because when you look at this myth that you will feel in love with your spouse, myth number 2, please, for the slides. Okay, I've seen it. When you have this thought that you're going to feel in love with your spouse all the time, every single second, it seems to suggest that a happy marriage is a marriage where you're in a perpetual state of almost like, I don't know, drug addiction, and if you don't have a fix of that person, you just expire. It's not sustainable, because these feelings, these intense feelings, are good for the initial bonding, but they're not sustainable. They will ebb and flow throughout the relationship. You understand? When people feel that love is a feeling, or you're going to be in love with your spouse all the time, it makes you feel that if you're not, that your marriage has failed. It fuels unrealistic expectations. You understand? And this is kind of, continually hammered home by people posting highlights in their reels of places they went, of how in love they are, of how they're kissing every second, of how they're making love with their husbands every single minute of every single hour of every single day. The truth is, listen, those who aren't married, and for those of us who are married, it's true. The whole, swinging from the chandelier in a red negligee, it's an integral part of marriage, but a very little part of it, because you must work, you must eat. Sometimes people will be ill. Sometimes people just won't like their spouse. This is not unusual. The reality is that those intense feelings do not sustain a marriage, and neither are they sustainable. They're not sustainable. They will come, they will go, they will ebb, they will flow. You don't even like your siblings every single moment of every single day. And while moments of intense passion will come up, they cannot continuously be there 24/7 across your lives. That's if you live 80 days together, 80 years, sorry, 80 years together, that you're constantly jumping each other's bones. It's not realistic, it's not sustainable. There's a deeper kind of love that comes up as you marry in, as you're in marriage. And it's good for you to embrace this. It's good for you singles to know this. And it's good for we that are married to know this, that it's not unusual if sometimes you don't want to be around your spouse, or you don't really feel like being with your spouse every second of every day, stuck at the hip. There's a deeper kind of love that evolves and develops, that is more realistic and more sustainable in between this excitedness and the jumping each other's bones, commitment and loyalty, a conscious decision to stick together, security and comfort, shared history and experiences, mutual respect and admiration and appreciation for who your partner really is, interdependence, the ability to rely on each other while still maintaining individual identities. Expecting constant love and constant limerence is unrealistic, and it's not sustainable. You're not going to feel in love with your spouse every single day of every single hour. And what are some tips to overcome this? Understand the science of love, like what I told you, limerence, the honeymoon phase. You have to educate yourself on the different phases of love, and the fact that this in-love experience is not constant and continuous. You must be aware of these things I've talked about, camaraderie, companionate love, the reliance on each other. These are the kind of ways you should redefine love for the long term. You need to be companions, actively nurturing your friendship, and you need to focus on actions, not just feelings. Feelings can be fickle. I woke up in the morning feeling down and a bit anxious about this masterclass. So you guys should show me some love in the comments. I woke up kind of anxious, but a lot of my sister, the guy who does all my back end and all that, my husband, they kind of calmed me down because I can be quite anxious. So focus on actions, not feelings. Feelings are fickle. You can feel one way in the morning and feel another way in the evening. So look at what the person does for you, how they react towards you. Reinforce your commitment. You understand? Focus on actions of love. Love is both a verb, it's just not just a noun, it's also a verb. So focus on that. Practice gratitude and appreciation. Initiate novelty and spontaneity. Much as things should be on an even keel, introduce and inject something else, different and more exciting sometimes. And communicate your expectations. You understand? If you want more spice, like spicy, communicate that you want more spice. It is important that we speak what we want. Myth number 3. A good marriage never has challenges. And this myth, propagates the fact that a good marriage, a truly successful marriage, is free from difficulties. Nobody is ever unhappy. Nobody is ever sad. Nobody ever quarrels. It suggests that if a couple is properly matched, they shouldn't be challenged. They should agree on everything, sort out any disagreement amicably, and nothing ever challenges their relationship. This is fantasy. It's a fantasy. The reality is that all marriages, even the strongest marriages, face challenges. I've told you that my relationship has a significant challenge at a point. And I've had the privilege of speaking with countless couples who have had challenges. I know that some people believe a marriage shouldn't have challenges. If my marriage is having challenges, then it's not a real close bond. We're not really in love. We're not soulmates. People tend to believe that. But the reality is that even the strongest marriages will face challenges. They will. It's a dynamic relationship, marriages, and it's a marriage, a partnership between two imperfect people. Nobody is ever perfect all the time, every time, never making a step wrong, automatically knows what the other person is thinking and what the other person wants. No, a good marriage is not devoid of challenges. It's not a sign of failure. In fact, it just shows that life is life. And I want the singles on this platform to embrace that, because we that are married after 32 years, you've learned that the hard way, that sometimes in marriage you fight. I don't mean physical fights, so, but sometimes in marriage you have major disagreements and you think it's all over, but it's just not. So challenges are inevitable. Life throws curveballs, career changes, financial downturns, health scares, the loss of loved ones, the loss of aging parents, raising children, personal growth, and daily stressors. All these things challenge the marriage relationship, and we don't always deal perfectly with them. And the fact that they arise doesn't make your marriage a failure. In fact, challenges are good for a relationship. When navigated properly, they make a marriage stronger. You know, challenges are an opportunity for growth. They test boundaries, they put boundaries in place. Challenges can deepen your bond, deepen your resilience. You understand? It can build a strong sense of who the other person is, and define boundaries and test boundaries and put in place boundaries, because as people grow, you evolve. When I was younger, and I don't know if my husband is on this, when I was much younger in my marriage, there's a lot of things I could just kind of, I don't want to say overlook, but I was more prone to relax into my husband and let him make most of the decisions. And it's not like I challenge his decisions now, but I kind of realized that I wanted more of a say. And that's one of the things, like I told you, in my marriage, because we didn't discuss certain things, a lot of things were left to be for my husband to decide. I thank God that he's somebody who made decisions that honored our family and moved our family forward. But as a wife, I believe my role should have been to be more supportive in that respect. But as I grew older, I wanted to take a more dominant and more involved role. And this caused a bit of challenge at the time it happened. But those challenges caused us to grow. So embrace challenges as part of the human experience and look at it for an opportunity for growth in your relationship. What makes challenges bad is if you don't seek to navigate them and resolve them in the right way. You know, challenges and disagreements are catalysts for growth. So don't suppress challenges. Deal with them, confront them, and deal with them properly. In fact, a better and more rounded approach can emerge when two people express varying points of view and then discard one or merge the two of them together to achieve a more robust and comprehensive way forward. And what are some tips to overcome this myth? Reframe challenge as opportunity. Don't view it as a threat. Look at it as an opportunity for both of you to grow individually and both of you to grow together, to strengthen your bond. Don't feel as if you're a failure or your marriage is failing when when a challenge arises, or when both of you kind of clash. Expect challenges, normalize difficulties, part of the human experience, and discuss proactively with your partner how you intend to handle conflict and challenge. You understand? This understanding beforehand, creates the atmosphere for overcoming challenges. Rocky is nothing in a marriage if you would just navigate it together. Conflict resolution skills are a must, and you have to be resilient in life. When the going gets rough, they say the tough get going, or whatever, as you well know. Okay, so communication, external support if needed, empathy and grace, and celebrate when you overcome challenges. Myth 4, my spouse will complete me, make me happy, and fix all of my problems. Nope, this myth is just romantic idealization. The fact that your spouse is the missing piece and once plugged in, everything works. It means that your spouse is the primary, whatever of happiness in your life. Your spouse will complete you. The reality is that no single person can complete you. Marriage is supposed to be two whole individuals entering into a relationship, complementing each other and not completing each other. And this myth is very damaging because it places a burden on your spouse that they cannot possibly fill. They cannot possibly lift for you. Happiness is an internal job. You can't expect your partner to be your sole source of happiness, because then You neglect any personal advancement. You neglect taking responsibility for your own marriage. In fact, excuse me, when people come to me with challenges, and it's mostly the women that come to me first, and hopefully eventually the husband joins, I tell them, even if your husband doesn't want to come for counseling, you come. Because when you work on you, when you embrace the fullness of you, when you realize that you're not, the entirety of your worth is not dependent on how this other person treats you, speaks to you, loves you, or does not love you. When you embrace that, you will find that your marriage can stand a chance of improving. There has to be a me, a successful me, for there to be a successful us. You have to be codependent, not dependent on the other person. So that's another myth that is debunked. Marriages are partnerships, they're not solutions. Two of you have to come together as whole. Your spouse should make you happy, yes, but they cannot be the sole source of your happiness. Your spouse can be a wonderful companion, a source of, joy and peace and all that, but they cannot be the missing piece. They cannot be the sole source of your happiness. And I encourage women, especially women who tend to come for counseling first, no offense to the men, to work on themselves. So embrace personal responsibility. Identify your own emotional needs and fill them for yourself. There has to be a me for there to be a successful us. Yes, Cynthia, that's a fact. Cultivate external things that make you happy. Yes, you and your spouse are one, but you're also individuals. So that's important. So be a support, not a savior. Recognize and appreciate when your spouse does do things that make you happy, and look for ways to stand on your own. And finally, myth number 5. And this is, I think, I don't want to say it's the most whatever, one, but it's one that, a lot of people believe. Myth number 5 is that happy marriages do not exist. Many people believe that happy marriages don't exist. They just have to grin and bear it. In fact, in Igbo, my language, they say diwundidi. That is, husband is about patience. That's what they say. Maybe that's how they got the word di as husband. You understand? That you just have to suck it in and just take whatever happens. That's just the way marriage is. In fact, another thing in my dialect is that alumdi wungugu. Ngugu is like a package that is tied up, and as you keep on tying it, you keep discovering new things. I guess that's true in a sense. But the fact that happy marriages do not exist is a myth. You understand? It's a cynical and defeatist attitude. That's what it is. And it usually stems from negative experiences of a parent's marriage, or negative experiences of marriages in one sphere in one sphere. It suggests that having a truly happy marriage is just unrealistic and it's not achievable. It just says that marriage is difficult, and it's just difficult, and that's just the way it is. We have to accept it. The underlying message is one of resignation. The how for do. This is just the way marriage is. And the reality is that happy, fulfilling, and thriving marriages, they actually do exist. We've already spoken about the fact that no marriage is devoid of any challenges, you understand. But there are many couples who experience profound and deep joy in their marriage. This myth kind of confuses the fact that challenges are inevitable with the impossibility of happiness. But as we've discussed, challenges are inevitable. But how you navigate them and come through them is what matters. So happy marriages exist. It doesn't mean that a happy marriage is one without problems, but it's a marriage where partners are committed to making it work. It's a marriage where effective tools are employed and couples learn to apply these skills like you guys are learning. A happy marriage is one where there is mutual respect and admiration for each other, where there are shared purposes and values. A happy marriage is where there's an intentional effort to make it work and it's applied. Happiness isn't passive. You have to work towards it. A happy marriage is a marriage where joy and connection are prioritized. Despite life's demands, people live life and yet still marry. A happy marriage is a marriage where challenges lead to deeper bonds. It's a choice that you keep on making. You see, when you believe the myth that marriage never work, then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You know, you believe happiness is impossible, so you don't put in the effort to make it possible. And so this reinforces the fact that it's just not going to be possible. So how do you overcome this myth? Challenge your own beliefs. It's not possible just by the law of averages that marriages, good marriages, do not exist. It is just not possible simply by the laws of averages. If unhappy marriages exist, there must be the other side of the coin. Seek out positive role models. I know it's sometimes difficult to know exactly what is happening in people's homes, but look at patterns and seek out positive role models and see what they have done to make their marriages work. Practice gratitude and appreciation, the law of reciprocity. If I smile at you guys now or laugh, naturally the human response is to smile back, the law of reciprocity. So practice gratitude and appreciation. Invest in your relationship proactively, and this will come into play with the product that I'm about to reveal any moment from now. You know, invest in your marriage. You invest in everything else. Communicate your hopes and dreams for your marriage. Marriage is understand that happiness is not just a destination. It's not just a destination. It's a journey. There's a journey towards marriage. Don't settle for misery. Get the help you need. And if your partner won't come for help, then start with yourself. Start with the man or the woman in the mirror. Work on yourself and see how that works on your partner. Don't settle for misery. So, what are some tips for a life-proof marriage? Prioritize communication, active listening. You listen, not just with your looking at what the person is saying, but what the person is not saying. Practice active listening. Listen with every part of you. Don't listen to respond. Listen to understand. Reflect back what you hear. So what I'm hearing you say is this. Use I statements. I feel that you shut me down when I talk. I feel lonely and companionless. I feel like the way you spoke to me wasn't right. Don't say you always this or you always that. Schedule check-ins. There's a course in the ACM Academy that is the state of this union. You know how the Americans have the State of the Union address where they talk about what is existing right now. I believe every couple should enroll for my State of the Union address concerning your marriage. So schedule check-ins. Even 10 minutes a day. What's up with you? What's worked this week? What hasn't? Works and helps to bond your marriage. Agree on conflict rules. We don't call names. We have a safe space in our house. Once I say this, it's a timeout until everybody is less heated. Agree on conflict rules. Cultivate a team mentality. It's a we, it's not a me. It isn't. Support each other, mutual support. Be flexible, compromise. And compromise is when each party feels like they've gotten something out of the deal. Nurture friendship. Do everything to make your friendship fun, beyond just romantic or physical love. Appreciation and affection are absolutely necessary. Expressing gratitude is imperative. Small acts of kindness are crucial. Physical affection, not just sexual affection, hugs, holding hands, touching the hair is important. Verbal affirmation, physical, actually tell the person, I love you, I need you, I want you, I desire you. Don't just believe that they know. Support each other's individual passions, not just the things you want to do together. Grow together, live together, love together, explore new things as a couple, and commit to learning. Commit to learning and be forgiving of each other. Neither of us are perfect. So, myths are perpetuated due to a lack of preparation, and this sets individuals up for disappointment, frustration, and bitterness. And so I want us to look at the things we've learned so far. We've learned what a myth is, why myths are damaging, how people internalize myths, the myths versus the realities, how to overcome these myths, and how tips to build a life-proof love story. Are you enjoying what you're hearing so far? Let me know in the comment section. Are you getting anything from this? Are you picking up stuff from this? And remember, if you stay to the end, everybody that stays to the end, will get a playback of this recording. I'm trying to keep to our time. Yes, so what are the things you need to unlearn? Let me know if you like this, if you love this, if you're enjoying this, if you're learning from this. Okay, what are the things you need to unlearn? You need to unlearn the fact that love is enough, that you're going to feel in love 24/7, that a good marriage never has challenges, that my spouse will complete me, and that happy marriages do not exist. All these things need to be crossed out and unlearned. So tell me that you're excited about what you've learned so far. Let me know that you're excited. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, the belief in these myths that I've shown you are some of the reasons why people are married, but their marriages are failing. And so, this you agree that this information is relevant both for those who aren't married and for those of us who are married. Do you believe so? Do you believe so? That these myths are some of the reasons why people's marriages. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm glad you like what you're hearing. These are the myths. These myths are the reason why some people are failing in marriage. Next slide, please. And do you consider some of these things I've talked about hard? The ability to overcome these myths that have been internalized and stick deep down inside one. Is this hard? Is it hard? Well, do you think that embracing the realities and doing the work that is required to have a happily ever after is too hard and it can't work for you? Do you think so? If you think so, then you'd be wrong. I want you to think again. I'm going to give you a couple of, I think about 4 testimonies from people I've worked with. It's been a little bit difficult to get testimonies because what I do is so private and I respect my clients' privacy. And some people don't want you to put their stories out there, even if it's anonymously. The reason being, they think people may be able to know who it's happening to. So, but I've managed to get 4 and I'm going to read them out for you. Honestly, before we came to Amaka for help, our conversations felt like we were speaking different languages. My husband would shut down and I would just get more and more frustrated. Ladies, I think we can believe this. And then say horrible things to him. I know I have been there, covering my face. I came for the session solo at first, and Amaka gave me tools, words, and the mindset to cope. I think my changed composure and new attitude convinced my husband to join me. Things aren't perfect yet, but we're getting there. Number 2, 6 years ago, I went through a very challenging season in my marriage. About 15 years, after 15 years, things had become deeply strained. I recognized that I had my own area. I was dealing with betrayal and emotional pain, but I also recognized that I had my own areas to grow in, especially how I responded to conflict and pressure. With Mrs. Amaka's support, I regained my strength, found emotional resilience and a healthier mindset. Her work is a blessing to anyone navigating the complexities of marriage and personal growth. When I found out about my husband's affair, number 3, my world shattered. I truly believed our marriage was over. The pain was unbearable. I didn't think I would ever be able to trust my husband again. Physical intimacy was unthinkable. Emotional intimacy in any form was non-existent. Speaking with Amaka helped me and eventually us invaluably. Rebuilding trust, understanding the why, and learning very difficult forgiveness. Frankly, we're still on the journey. But for the first time, I feel hopeful that we can build something stronger and more honest than before. January 2020, I was a broken woman and I wanted to end my marriage. I felt a nudge to reach out to you and I did. And you responded. You even gave me your personal number and you spoke to me for over an hour and counseled me. Your words gave me hope. I'm a new woman, walking high with a renewed self-esteem. I'm speaking positively to myself and eating healthy. Please, I want to give this opportunity to someone else. I want to send 5 of your books to some women who cannot afford it. So there you have it, at least 4 testimonies. And you might just be the next testimony. So what will save you? Preparation, knowledge, diligence, desire, intentionality, consistency, and of course, the right course. Marriage, I've said, is not for the faint of heart. It's not for sissies. It's not for quitters. You need the work to make it work. And the good news I'm here to tell you is that I'm here to make it that bit easier. Make it a bit easier. I want to put before you the fact that you have 2 choices. Number 1, you can do it for yourself and try to implement solo. Number two, you can work with me and go through the steps that I have created, you know, that incorporate premarital counseling, but in addition, are invaluable for married couples who are seeking to enhance and strengthen their bond, and married couples who want to hit the reset button on their marriages if they've already drifted apart. And the truth is that many marriages have drifted apart. Many people together, but not really together. And not just invaluable, what I'm about to say, for just these two sets of people, but for many others, which you're going to find out as we go along. Guess what? I've given it a lot of thought. I told you this thing is something that is deep inside me. I just have a passion, a strong passion for marriages because of personal experience and because of the experiences that I've had the privilege of guiding others through, hearing stories, heartbreaking stories about people whose marriages have just gone down the wrong path and it's affected their lives, their businesses, their children, their finances, their homes, their happiness, their health. I've given it a lot of thought. And I've realized that for a lot of people, it might not be in your budget, at this time to invest in a one-on-one with me. It's difficult, I know. Or sometimes it's just not in one's plan at this particular time. There's so many things pulling on our resources. My fees at this current time are $155,000, approximately $100 an hour. And so I've compressed my experience in 32 years of marriage, my experience of over 25 years as a marriage and premarital counseling in a Christian church setting, my certification as a counselor with a specialization in couples counseling, my certification as a cognitive behavioral therapist, my training as a Saving Your Marriage Before It Starts facilitator, and the wealth of study and information in my 7 books, to date about the male-female romantic relationship dynamic. I've compressed all of this into a 10-module self-paced online course. So we've spent a lot of time, but do I have your permission? Let me know in the comments to spend a bit more time and show you this self-paced online premarital course, incorporating premarital, but also very valuable to a lot of other people that I'll show you about, so that I'm not just telling you about the 5 myths that sabotage marriage, but I'm telling you about something you can embrace that can take your marriage that step further. What if I told you that a one-time investment that is just a fraction of what you're likely to spend on a night out with friends, on a pair of shoes? Thank you very much, Cynthia. On a pair of shoes, on a bag, on the budget for a wedding. What if I told you that for a fraction of the cost that you spend on these things, you can get a more than 30% edge against the heartache and devastation of separation and divorce, as opposed to the 80% who don't invest and don't fare as well? What if I told you that in addition, the return on this investment is transgenerational? Does this sound too good to be true? I assure you that it isn't. Drum roll. I want to introduce to you what to do before I do, a self-paced online premarital course. And each time I say premarital, I want to point you to the fact that I've mentioned the categories of people that this applies to, even though it's premarital, because what you didn't do before, you may have to do now. So it's a self-paced premarital course, and it consists of 10 modules. The first module is ready, set, go, preparation. And you're going to find out if you're truly ready for marriage. You're going to receive step-by-step guidance for the lead up to your wedding day if you're not married. You're going to contemplate the fact that the wedding day is just the day. You need to prepare for the marriage. You're going to learn to maintain the perspective during the planning process. Number 2, talk to me. And this is relevant for those who are married, those who are about to be married, but those who are married, to direct your conversations and to narrow you in on what you should be discussing. Talk to me or don't. You're going to master the fundamental differences in how men and women communicate. You're going to discover your personal communication style and how it impacts your relationship. You're going to learn active listening. And believe it or not, this doesn't come naturally to human beings. You're going to learn active listening techniques that transform understanding. You're going to practice the 4 T's of effective communication that prevents misunderstandings. Number 3, the core. It talks about alignment. The core talks about alignment. Why? You'll understand, and we've discussed this a bit about this in the 5 myths. You're going to understand why conflict isn't necessarily negative and that it can actually strengthen your bond. You will learn practical techniques for addressing disagreements before they become divisions. Master the art of productive arguments, identify your conflict triggers, and develop strategies to manage them. You're going to learn about need, and need is not necessarily being needy. You're going to understand the difference between need and being needy. You're going to be encouraged to identify what are your particular needs. Even in a marriage right now, what are your particular needs? How to articulate them to your partner, to properly articulate them, and about the needs that are common to humanity in general and the needs that are particular or peculiar to men and women. The next model 5 is the core. What are your core beliefs? How are these core beliefs formed? How are they entrenched? What are your core values? What are your beliefs actually? What do you really believe in? You're going to understand how core beliefs affect your marriage in a very fundamental way. And you'll be able to appreciate why it's imperative that your spouse's core values align with yours, at least significantly. Model 6, the vow. What exactly are we vowing to do? People talk about vows. They're secular vows. They're crafted vows that people make for themselves, and they're the traditional wedding vows. Which one are you going to be saying on your wedding day? What is a thread that runs through these 3 vows? You understand what is the essence and spirit of marriage really? What do these vows really mean? Model 7, role play. Who does what? We're going to talk about what roles are. Look at the reasons why roles are important. Consider whether gender roles are necessary in this day and age. And what is the benchmark or standard for these roles? And then, of course, we're going to talk about sex, physical intimacy. We're going to look at deep discussions about sex that you cannot avoid before marriage and that you must continue to discuss in marriage. We explore in depth with pictures and images the anatomy of the male and female sex organs and their functions. How do we maximize pleasure? We're going to learn about the most underrated sex organ of all. I don't know whether any of you know what that is. What the most underrated sex organ is. We're going to talk about the misconception that women do not like sex. What? We're going to understand why multiple sex partners does not necessarily position you as an expert in sexual matters. And we're going to determine the particular sex needs of men and women. Model 9, show me the money. No romance without finance, really? We're going to understand why marriage is a very difficult topic to discuss, why it's vitally important that it's discussed nevertheless before marriage and in marriage. We'll identify questions that can focus you on what you should discuss about money before marriage and in marriage. And we're going to state some determinations that you both must make. We're going to look at 4 additional things in respect of finances that must be uppermost in your mind before marriage and throughout your marriage. And finally, the law of in-laws. Guess who's coming to dinner? Relationship with parents and in-laws. What are the positive effects in-laws can have on a marriage? What are the negative effects in-laws can have in marriage? We're going to learn how to make it easy to set boundaries whilst acknowledging that there are ties that bind. We're going to become aware of the fact that honoring your parent does not mean that you cannot set boundaries in an appropriate way. So by the time you finish this course, you'll be able to discern whether you're actually ready for marriage. And for those of us in marriage, were we ready? And if we weren't, how do we correct it now? Have the tools to navigate conflict effectively. Of course, you heard the 10 models. I wanted to give a little pause there so it can sink in. 10 comprehensive and robust modules about marriage that can be discussed pre-marriage and must continue to be discussed in marriage. Ready, steady, go. Talk to me or don't. The core, the vow, need, resolve to resolve, conflict resolution. Let's talk about sex, role play, show me the money, the law of in-laws. All these things are going to be discussed in this self-paced 10-module course that you can do from your couch. So at the end of this course, you're going to be able to discern whether you're ready for marriage. And if you weren't ready when you got married, what can you do to be ready now? The tools you need to navigate and resolve conflict effectively, a clear understanding of what you do and think about money. You'll be able to discuss and have clarity around expectations of roles in marriage. And you discover that sometimes it's good to plan for intimacy. People think it's forced, but it's not. We plan for everything else that's important. So plan talks about intimacy, physical and otherwise, are imperative before married, premaritally, but even in marriage as marriage evolves. And we're going to learn how to respectfully establish boundaries with in-laws. And in addition, next slide, we will be able to interrogate and discuss and discern what are our core values. If my hobby is on this, we're going to discuss what are our core values, what are our needs, what are our fears, what are our desires, those innermost desires, and so much more as you seek to come into alignment before marriage, as you seek to realign in marriage if your marriage has gone off kilter, and maintain, if your marriage is on track, to maintain the alignment that is required for the oneness of marriage, for marriage to succeed and thrive. Now, I want to talk about what you'll get in addition to all this. There's a free resource attached to each module. So 10 free resources. I think some of the resources actually have more than one, some of the modules actually have more than one free resource. A dedicated WhatsApp group where I'm going to post a lot of the information that we have here that I've run through quite fast. Tell me you're excited about what you're hearing so far. I'm excited as I'm listening to it because I teach myself when I'm teaching others, So there's a dedicated WhatsApp group, and this is where you can meet, you can interact with others who have been through the course, and you can have some of the things I've just kind of breezed by in the interest of time. You will have them on this dedicated WhatsApp group. I've also included, even though I know we have something exciting that will pop up on the screen, I've talked about, I'm offering a 10% discount on my 7 relationship transforming books, signed, depending on location, obviously, and while stocks last. Then you have lifetime access to this life transforming and transgenerational course, a lifetime access. So you can form watch parties around this course from the comfort of your living room. You can have watch parties where you discuss each module and agree with me or not, and create questions that you can send in to me to confront me about anything you don't agree with. And so I want to talk about who this course is for. You guys gave me the permission, and I hope the permission is continuing to tell you a bit more about the course. So yes, it's a self-paced course. Who is it for? Are you, and at each question I ask, if the answer is yes, put yes. Even if it's not you, is it yes because you know someone who is in this category? Number 1, who is this for? You are in your early 20s and have started thinking about a life partner, and you're curious to know what it really takes to create a fulfilling, lifelong partnership. If that is you, put a yes. If you know someone like that, put a yes in the comment section. Who is this for? People in their early 20s that have started thinking about a life partner and are curious about what it really takes to create a lifelong partnership. Is that you? Do you know someone who fits in this box? What to do before I do? Who is it for? You're currently in a committed relationship or even already engaged. You're deeply in love and you're wondering how to ensure that your bond grows even stronger and deeper for a lifelong marriage. Are you in this category, or do you know anybody who is currently, is it you or any of your friends or an acquaintance, someone you know who is currently in a committed relationship and deeply in love, but they want to know what can make their bond stronger? Who is this for? You're navigating the thrilling but sometimes turbulent early years of marriage. You're still on a journey of discovery of each other. But you're hungry for the insights and tools to deepen connection and navigate any challenges with confidence. Are you in this category, or do you know somebody who is? Who is this for? You've been married for a while. You know that you did not have nor have been able to focus and have the necessary discussions. You want to press the reset button and start again on the right footing. Is that you? Is that you? Or do you know anybody who is in this category? It's yes, yes, but you know someone who fits in. Why? Yes, I'm 60, so it even applies to me. Who is this for? We give all kinds of gifts to people for weddings, but do you want that special wedding gift for a couple? A gift that will endure, that they won't just fling away or get millions of, and that will last and stand the test of time and time and times. A gift whose impact will outlive the giver and outlive the recipient, a gift that is truly transformational, then this is for you. Is that a yes? Do you know anybody that you'd like to give that special gift? Or do you know someone who wants to give a special gift to someone? That's for you. And the final category, thank you, is for those companies and individuals who are among the discerning few who have realized that stronger marriages promote wholeness and well-being, and these make more creative, innovative, and productive workspaces. You know this, you've realized this, you've discerned that there's a link. I like to say what happens in the bedroom affects the boardroom. So if you're one of those companies or individuals that has realized that this is a fact, that people are more creative, more productive, more innovative in their workspace if their home life is right. So if you're one of the discerning few who has realized this, and you want to sponsor some young couples as part of your philanthropic, corporate, social responsibility, then this again is for you. Are you one of those individuals? Or do you know somebody who fits into this category that you could tell about this self-paced, 10 module self-paced online course? So who is it for? Those in their early 20s thinking about a life partner, those currently in a committed relationship already engaged, those in the early years of marriage, those who have been married for a while and want to enhance their marriage or press the reset button on a marriage that has gone off kilter, those looking for a special wedding gift for a couple that will transcend time, and individuals and companies that want to discharge their corporate social responsibility. You might say to me, Amaka, there are loads of these courses out here. Everybody's doing premarital counseling. Everybody says they're a coach. Everybody says they're a mentor. Why is Amaka's course unique? And this would be my response. I personally have been married for 32 years. I'm 60 years old. With all the highs and lows that entails, I've lived this. I've lived it. Number two, I've been in the marriage counseling area in this niche as a vocation for over 25 years. I'm a certified counselor with a specialization in couples counseling. I'm a certified cognitive behavioral therapist, CBT, a branch of therapy that deals with dealing with negative automatic thoughts. The course is self-paced and it's online. That's, you do it at your own pace, and you can do it from the comfort of your home. You can invite friends over for a watch party to do it, all of you together watching it, discussing it. You can watch it with your partner, watching it, discussing it, and looking at the issues that it raises. You have lifetime access to this course. You can return to it again and again to refresh and renew. And you have additional free resources that are attached to each module. So let's talk money, right? This is a vocation for me, I must tell you, but people tend to value what they pay for and when they have some skin in the game. Do you agree? People tend to value things when they have some skin in the game. Based on what I charge now, these 10 modules plus the free resources plus my wealth of experience that I've been privileged to have, this course would ordinarily cost you 1.650 million Nigerian naira. That is approximately $1,000. But today I'm asking you to get started for just 180,000 Nigerian naira. That is approximately $115. So 1.6 million Nigerian naira, approximately $1,000, as opposed to 180,000 naira, approximately $115. I think it's a no-brainer. I think it is. So you might ask, so why must I buy now? Why must I commit to this right now? And I want to tell you that this is the lowest this course will ever be. I try to make it as low as possible whilst incorporating everything that has gone into it, the videos, the everything that has gone into the course. I try to bring it as low as possible. It's the lowest it will ever be. In fact, I'm considering raising it after a period of time, once a couple of people sign up. The first 5 people to sign up during this masterclass, it might be difficult during this masterclass, I realize, because of some technical issues, will get a 1-hour free discovery call from me, in addition to the promotion that they have posted on the course now, that you can use fast action to get 20% off this course for the first 10 people who sign up for this course within the next 24 hours. It's automated, so there's no partiality in Nigerian parlance attached to this. If you sign up in the next 24 hours, you get 20% off. And I dare say, because I've already written it on my slides, that you will also get the first 5 people a 1-hour free discovery call with me. My back-end people, my team will help me identify who were the first 5 people to sign up, who got the 20% discount, and also will get a 1-hour free discovery call with me. Then the next 5 people to sign up, making it 10, will get an additional 5%. And I'll work out how to do this from the back end, in addition to this fast action in the next 24 hours. Is that good or isn't it? I want to end this masterclass, I'm a little over time, by saying a quote that I found, it was in a movie, but this quote resonates with me. Fast action, 20% off in the next 24 hours. And there's even a chance to get an additional 5% off. The end depends on the beginning. I'm going to give you the account details shortly. The end depends on the beginning. How you start determines the end. And you see, as my mother used to say, of blessed memory, whenever you wake up is your morning. So whilst you can think about premarital, even within marriage, whenever you wake up and decide that you want your marriage to work, that you want to do something different, this course is useful for you, because the end actually depends on the beginning. There's a slide that I'm going to put up now. We removed it because there was a bit of a mix-up about how you get the link to sign up for the course. But I want to type in the account details. I'm going to send it now, and my team will type it in, where you can make a direct transfer if you give me just a minute. And whilst we're waiting for that to happen, I'm going to move to questions and answers. Whether anybody is bold enough to look at questions, ask me questions. And when I say bold enough, I mean to actually come up on stage and ask questions. Amarachi or even Omone, if you can actually look in your WhatsApp, I have put the details where people can make direct transfers, in Naira or in USD. Can you please arrange to put on the screen? I am sending it to you now. I'm sending it to you, and please, Amarachi, please send it, and I'm going to send it to Auntie Chi as well, because I'd like them to post the domiciliary account details and the Naira account details in case people want to apply to pay in directly. But right now, fast action, you get 20% off if you sign up for this course within the next 24 hours. And I think that's an amazing deal. And so I want to move promptly into questions and answers. Does anybody have any questions that they want to ask me? Any comments they want to make? If you indicate, they will bring you up to ask the question, or you can simply post the question in the comment section. Remember that you're going to get 20% off fastest fingers in the next 24 hours. You're going to get a free 1-hour discovery call with me. And anybody who knows me or who has taken a counseling session with me knows that when I say discovery call, somehow I get roped into spending so much more time because I am truly invested in ensuring that marriages work. Amarachi, please type in, or Monet, or even Chi, please type this in, the account details, into the comment section for me, please. Remember also that the next 5 people to sign up will get an additional 5% discount on this transgenerational investment. And so any questions that anybody wants to ask me, if you can put up the QR, okay, why you must buy now. Thank you, Ike. And I can see that fast action is in place. Remember who this is for. Wedding gifts, corporate social responsibility, those who want to press the reset button on the relationship, those whose relationships are already good, but they want to enhance it by focusing in and narrowing in on necessary discussions to enhance their relationship. People who are not yet married, they haven't even met anybody, but they want to be ready for when they do meet somebody. And people who are in a relationship, in the early stages of a relationship, and they kind of want to know, or they're even engaged, they want to know how to marry properly and how to make sure that their bond is strong. Those in the early, usually turbulent years of marriage. This course is for all of these people. It can be a gift to a person. It can be for you personally. Any questions that anybody wants to ask me? I think I'm going to give 5 minutes for questions. Does anybody have any questions that they want to ask? I'm going to give, it's 8:37. I'll give like 5 minutes for questions. If anybody wants to ask me a question, if anybody wants to challenge what I've said before this, 5 myths that sabotage marriage, tips to have a life-proof marriage, and the grand finale, what to do before I do. A transgenerational course, transformational. What happens in the bedroom affects the boardroom, so it's important that we get marriage right. For those who are single, it's important that you watch out for the kind of person that you join yourself with. Someone told me about a corporate event they went to, and somebody's promotion was affected by the fact that the person he had married just wasn't up to par, embarrassed him completely in front of everybody. We must make sure that we're not unequally yoked, and this is not just a biblical thing. Any questions? Okay, absolutely no questions. That's amazing. I'm going to give a bit more time. Does anybody want to ask something? Does anybody want to make a comment? No? Okay. Well then, I just want to say thank you so much for joining this masterclass. Thank you so much. I also want to tell you that if you do now have any questions, these are the ways to reach out to me. Ike, if you could just put up on the screen how to connect with me. How to connect with me on Instagram, Facebook, my website, on YouTube, and via WhatsApp. Can we put up that slide, please? Can you guys hear me? Oh, okay. Quick Q&A. Okay. So if you do discover that you have any questions, please reach me on all these channels. Amaka Chika-Mbonu on Instagram, Amaka Chika-Mbonu on Facebook, amakachikambonu.com, my website, on my YouTube channel, Amaka Chika-Mbonu, and of course you can reach me on WhatsApp. Oh, wow, okay, there's a question. Is it normal for a woman not to be sexually attracted to her husband often? Denise says she can't make the purchase. Why is that, Denise? Let me know. Is it normal for a woman not to be attracted to her husband often? No, it isn't normal, because sex is an integral part of the relationship. But what I will say is that if you're not attracted to your husband sexually often, either he's upsetting you or you're emotionally disconnected from him. It says the site is not Ike, I don't know if you can address this. Either your husband is doing something to you emotionally that is setting you off. You're not connected with him emotionally. Women need to feel that emotional attachment to be able to open themselves up physically to their husband. As long as there's no medical issue with you, I actually have sexologists on this platform. As long as there's something physically wrong with you, then you should want to have sex with your husband. So we might want to explore, are there underlying issues in your marriage that are making you feel disconnected from him? And of course, this is not something you can answer here, but if you reach out to me, we can discuss this further. So, Ike, I don't know whether you can see that Denise says that the site is not accepting international payments. Denise, I don't know whether you can reach out to me on WhatsApp so that I can sort out this issue for you. There's a number there. Please acknowledge that you've seen the WhatsApp number where you can contact me so that I can understand exactly what the problem is. Did you hear that, Denise? Denise, did you hear what I said? Please let me know that please acknowledge what I've said so that I know that you've heard it. You can reach out to me on my phone number 0702 5000 500. Thank you, Victoria. Yes, and I've answered it. Okay, so please, Denise, Omone, please post the phone number in. If you can post the phone number, okay, let me post it as well. +234 702 5000 500. Denise, please contact me on this number and we will sort out this issue for you. Please contact me on this number and we can sort out this issue for you. So does anybody else have a question? Because if not, people can begin to drop off. The masterclass is over. I want to thank you all so much for joining me on this masterclass. Thank you very much, Denise. If you haven't already joined the dedicated WhatsApp group, please do, because I'll be posting information about this. I'm going to curate some of the things that we've discussed here for the WhatsApp group to begin a discussion right there. Remember that fast action you need to use fast action as your, I believe it's a discount code to get 20% off for the first people who buy within the next 24 hours. You'll get 20% off. And in addition, there are a couple of other things that I've mentioned that you will get in addition. There's a link that has been posted here. Oh, you're in the WhatsApp group already. Wonderful, Denise. Love you. Thank you so much. And just reach out to me and I'll sort out this international payment for you. So those who sign in within the next 24 hours, there's a link that is posted here. I'm tech savvy by the grace of God. So I don't know if this link is clickable, but yes. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. And I believe that's it. It's over. Anybody that wants to connect with me can connect with me via the WhatsApp group. They can connect with me directly through the phone number, WhatsApps only, and you can connect with me across all my social media channels. I look forward to hearing from every single one of you. If you're sending me a message, please indicate that you were in this masterclass, because that will make me really happy, and I'm likely to give you a lot more attention. But thank you so much. And whenever we're ready, Ike, we can sign off. I think I'm done. Happily ever after, deception, delusion, or discernment, and the introduction to my self-paced online premarital course, What to Do Before I Do, that incorporates premarital, but speaks to various other groups in the area of marriage. Thank you so much, Chigozie. I'm glad. I hope you're in the group because you've been really active on this site. I should give you something. Thank you so much, too. You're the best as well. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks, Ooch. Thank you so much. Thank you. I think I'm going to sit here till loads of you sign off, or unless IK ends it. I don't know if it's me that is supposed to end it. This is really something. Thank you so much. Thank you, Deborah. You're following. Thank you so much. Thank you. If you do reach out to me, do let me know that you were in the masterclass. Fast action to secure a 20% discount. Thank you, Chi. Absolutely. A 20% discount and a lot more. Thank you so much, Adeza. God bless you too. I'm looking forward to hearing from all of you. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much. Ah, ACM Academy, Amaka's Book Club, the Amaka Chika-Mbonu Show, my 7 books with interesting titles. Thank you so much for subscribing, Denise. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, thank you, my darling Ifoma from Book Club. Followed me from day one. Thank you so much, Uch. Oh, thank you, Ifoma. Thank you so much. Loads more coming on the group. We're going to be posting these things on the dedicated WhatsApp group. Thank you so much. Fast action. Get 20% off and so much more. Lifetime access to the course. 10 different resources. Some of the modules have more than one resource. Thank you, Amanda. Direct access to me, 1 hour free discovery calls for certain people. Thank you so much. I just want to acknowledge my wonderful team. Amarachi, my executive assistant. Okay, Denise, I'll look at the message once I finish. My executive assistant, Amarachi, shout out to you. Omone, a lead coordinator on the course. Shout out to you. And of course, IK, my back-end guy, my techie guy. He has been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Victoria. I'm so happy that you are blessed. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that you gained from this. I hope you're on the group too, because so much more coming on the dedicated WhatsApp group. And of course, so many other courses and resources that are coming up. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. When you, yes, you're already in my, thank you so much, Deborah. Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you so much. Wow. Okay. Should I end it? Let me see. Thank you. Thank you, Amarachi. We're about to go off. We're about to go out of the studio. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dor. Don't make me start crying. I'm about to sign off in 5, 4. I'm just listening to my back end people. 3, 2, and 1.